folks. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Bee Connection. Hope everybody's had a fairly decent week. It is absolutely being cold up here in the mountains of North Carolina. We had some nice freezing rain, and it tapered off with just a little bit of snow. And my daughter rode a little bit there on the car for my wife. So, nice little dusting. Good thing for me is my bees are already put to bed. I have nothing else to do but just kind of maybe work on some equipment. I did clean some of that up this weekend, but it was definitely cold, and I did not want to stay out there for very long in my garage. So, but definitely something to do this time of year. Get into your bee equipment and do a few different things. So. Do want to wish Melissa and Tom at least Melissa a happy birthday, and she has to put up with Tom today, so that might be a little hard. They might be on a little bit later, but I do just want to say, look at that young couple right there.
Wow.
I mean, ain't that something? So she has definitely put up with a lot, Tom, and hopefully you'll hear that a little bit later. So. We'll keep that on there just in case they decide to pop in. And, of course, we'll just, they're probably just eating like they always are, you know. But I did think I seen that. So, but happy birthday to Melissa. She definitely helps out with the stream and very computer-oriented like Lee does, and kind of in the background helps us out from time to time. So, definitely awesome. So, but for me, for the most part, beekeeping's done. Don't really have anything to do. Got my fondant on. Got some camp method on a few hives. Moved my bees off the trailer off the mountain. So I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping they make it through the winter. So we'll peek in if we get a little warm weather just to make sure they're okay. But for the most part, I am done. So
Ricky, how do you decide if you use mountain camp or fondant or any other method? What's your rationale for that?
I'll be honest with you, Chris, it's more about just time. You fix the fondant and you spend the time, and I ran out, and it's like, again, I was moving those bees off the mountain, so there's a few colonies that didn't get that camp method or didn't get the fondant, so I put the camp method on it. So I think both of them work fairly well. I do think they digest the fondant a little bit better with the recipe that I have, but for the most part, both of them work really well. So,
okay. And you're making.
I don't like what. Too. Do what?
I said you're making your own fondant too. You're not slapping a Hive Alive. I call it a patty, but a slab on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's whatever anybody wants to do. So, sure. I do like the Hive Alive patties. They are very good. They work very, very well. So, I will mention that also. Anyway, Keith, what's going on in your neighborhood? I do know that I've been seeing a lot of these days up here.
Yeah, that was this morning here. So the old red sun in morning, sailors take warning thing. So we'll see if that comes true about 2 or 3 a.m. this morning if it starts up. So. But yeah, beekeeping is about like like it is on top of the hill. It's just 100 degrees warmer down here. Not a whole lot to do. Now, unlike you, I tried to make fondant one time and it was a disaster. So I'm a Hive Alive guy. So I've got Hive Alive on all mine. Like I've said before, I've got a few hives that are pigs and they're already on their third patty this year. So they're munching down on it. But yeah, I guess, gosh, we had some warm days last week. I put out some pollen substitute and had some sugar syrup out, and man, the bees were all over everything, having a big time. But the weather's changed on us, so you walk through the bee yard today, and it was nobody to be seen. But you could peep in the tops, and they were all up in the patties. Making the it's got the little circle on the fondant patty that gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
So they were going at it, but working on. I got all my equipment put together that I bought for next year. Checking the moth crystals on the stored supers, I think I've got around 90 super stored with a drawn comb in it. So, and I've got another 20 with this foundation in it. So, pretty good shape on boxes. So, come on, spring. I'm ready.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Brian, I'm like you. You know, Keith makes all that money. He can do all those live patty stuff. You know, I have to make my own. You know, I'm cheap, so make my own. So yeah, it is nice
No doubt.
having. Go ahead,
If
Keith.
you've got the talent to make your own, nothing wrong with that at all. But I tried. I bought the thermometers and read the directions and worked, and you know, I just ended up with either a goopy mess or I just had sugar bricks. So it just didn't work for me. So yeah, I bought a bunch of fondant this year because I use it on all of my hives. I use it on all the people that I'm helping. So I think I'm up to about I think I bought about 6 cases this year. So that's several pounds of fondant, and I could have saved a lot of money if I was talented enough to make it, but oh well. To me, it's still cheap insurance. If you can buy it by the case, it's not costing but what $6 a patty or something.
Yeah,
and you get a strong hive. How much money is that hive going to make for you?
Yeah.
So it is to me it's yeah, it works out. The math works just fine for me.
Just fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If I had 5,000 colonies, I'm not sure I'd want to put Hive Alive patties on all of them. That'd be a little pricey. But
especially 2 or 3, like you said. Good Lord.
Yeah,
they could probably get a price break though if they're buying pallets and pallets and pallets of the stuff. But
yeah,
but yeah, the math works just fine for me.
Clay says $5 a pack at the expo, so there you go, save $1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
the only thing about getting it at the expo, well, you can go around back and load it in your car, but you know, I see some people on the floor toting around a case of Hive Alive patties, and yeah, that ain't me. That stuff is heavy.
Yeah.
I'm sure the delivery guy's glad to get rid of it when he gets here, but I don't want to tote that around at the expo. I load it around back at the docks. Get rid of it.
So, Keith, I think we're expecting a little bit of snow tonight. Is that not right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I saw you were supposed to get maybe 2 to 4 inches up on the hill.
Sure.
And they had us in the dusting to 1 inch category. So,
and I think it's supposed to finish off with some freezing rain, which I absolutely hate.
Oh, yeah, I hate that. And I want it to, whatever it does, it's supposed to warm up above freezing tomorrow. So it shouldn't last very long because we've got Christmas parade Saturday here in Yakima. So I got to get Bertha and the Jeep ready, and we got to roll Saturday morning in the parade. Got my candy ready. We're got to get my decorations out to decorate Bertha. So ready to go. It's gonna be chilly, but it looks like it's gonna be dry. Saturday.
Awesome. So we'll say that we do have the dinner at the expo. I want to throw that link up here real quick. If anybody hasn't registered, go to scan that. We'd love to have you. I think Melissa said there's a little over 100 people coming right now. And we're going to kind of open this up to let more people besides the No Life Beekeepers scan and come and join us. So it'll be so much better than like Chris's, vendors and all that stuff. Vendors are overrated, Chris, so.
Listen. Getting me in trouble already. I haven't even started yet.
So we would love for you to come and be with us. There's no fee to get in. Just scan that. You're welcome to donate to it if you'd like to. Tom and Melissa are really working hard on putting this together. There may be some free gifts. We will have JW by the bathroom signing autographs. So you can't beat that. So
not with a stick, you couldn't. No.
Exactly. So love for anybody that's going to the expo to join us and be with us if you can. So you guys are awesome.
Yeah, that'll be a fun night.
Yeah. So, Chris, before we get into talking a little bit about the expo, I was thinking about it before you came on. I never have really talked to you about your bees much. And I don't know if you really talk much about it. So tell me what's going on in your bee yard and, what you're doing right now this time of year.
Sure. So I'm in Northwest Ohio. So I'm on the warmer side than Brian is. Brian gets all the cold off the lake. And we kind of miss a lot of that like weird lake weather that like the Michigan gets, or Chicago or Cleveland. Basically, if you know Ohio at all, there's a city called Medina near Cleveland. And basically Medina and east gets all the lake effect snow and rain and weather and everything. And then kind of everybody else gets other stuff. And we're far enough away from the lake. We don't get the artificial cold in the spring, warm in the fall that the water gives you along the lake. There's actually a really interesting like microclimate around the lake. We're far enough away. I mean, we're where I live. We're about an hour and 15 minutes from Cedar Point from the lake. So it's a great drive. We go all the time. But for my bees, I think last year I want to say I started with about 14. I ended up moving a couple. I think I ended up with like 12 by the end of the year. I didn't really force any splits. I ended up, for the first time ever, I got a second bee yard. I started helping out a gentleman who was in the area last fall, and he left to move. And so he had a couple spots open. So I took one of those spots this year. And next year, I think I'll actually end up having like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 bee yards.
Oh my gosh.
Not necessarily full, just different places. So that's been an fun adjustment for me. So all my bees it finally started getting cool, because a lot of times around Thanksgiving here in Ohio, it's still warm enough for the bees are trying to scavenge and trying to do all that stuff. So luckily it's been cool for a while now. So that kind of put them to bed. I seem to have, and again, it's obviously part of my learning cycle here, but I a lot of times have difficulty pulling the bees to pull the honey up into the supers. Like maybe I don't hit the super soon enough, or there's a lot of different possibilities. So I typically fill my double deep pretty quick with honey. And so I don't end up putting fondant on until the spring. Well, after the expo, that's kind of my marker. And so right now they're all kind of put away and just kind of chilling. So I was really happy with what I have. I think right now I've had Saskatraz now from Oliveira's for 4 years now. So I won't say they're version 4, because I'm sure that multiple years I've had multiple swarms, requeenings, etc. So they're definitely, but they're Saskatraz, and I love them. They really tried to talk me out of it as a new beekeeper. They're like, that's a very difficult bee and everything else, and they're high risk, high reward. They can be very aggressive. But yeah, so. I'd throw my fondant on too, but again, like I have almost an entire full deep, like almost all 10 frames, probably a solid 8 frames of just honey on every hive. So I haven't needed to do that yet. So, but my newest exciting development was I was actually going to become a bee inspector in the county. I have a lot of passion about just being positive in the area and helping people. While I'm no expert at all, the nice part is that I do get to experience and talk to a lot of beekeepers. Mm-hmm. You guys came in, Bob, anybody, and it doesn't make me as knowledgeable as any of you guys at all, but I get to pick a lot of brains and get to like hear a lot of what's worked, what doesn't, why not, here, there. So I do get to hear a lot more than most people do. And I really want to be able to pass that kind of passion on. And so there was some kind of politics in Ohio with that. And so I ended up getting a phone call from the local university, Bowling Green State University. That's where I went to school. They had a professor that suddenly left who was taking care of the bees. And there was a student who actually was running the organization. And he also left school at the same time. I think they're completely unrelated. I don't know. I'm sure I'll find out someday. But they need someone to look after the bees. And so now I'm going to be helping BGSU with their bees. And so I'm super excited about that because the president's wife is actually the one who really is interested in that. And the president's a really fun, wacky guy. I'm sure he'll never see me say that, but he really is. He's a fun gentleman. He's really led BGSU to some really positive highs. And so we'll be moving those bees here. Well, as soon as we don't have that deep of snow, but as soon as the snow melts and it's a little easier to pull in and out, I'll pull in with a pickup truck and take them. They had 12 hives, and I went in and inspected them on the first, it was like 35-degree day, and it was windy. And I was like, this is going to be real fun. I opened them up, and they had 4 hives total, and they were weak. And so I'm kind of just assuming I'm not going to put any fondant on it because I don't think it's worth it. I don't want to be mean to the bees. I'm not, but I also don't want to like baby them along. So worst case in the spring, we'll start over. We'll start with some new bees, but they bought like $5,000 worth of equipment from Dadant.
Oh my gosh!
So they have it's mid-tier, like basic to mid-tier stuff. It's okay. So we're gonna take a go at that. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be really fun next year because there will be students out there to learn. And again, to be able to spread, my passion for it and to be able to talk about bees. I'm super excited about that. So that's really what's going on in my neck of the woods. But yeah, this expo has me a little busy right now. So
yeah, and I will say you did highlight something there that I'd like to mention on here is, for new beekeepers, the wintertime's a great time to move your bees. Because they're in there. You can just move them from one bee yard to the other, or move. You don't worry about the 3 or 4 foot rule, 6 foot rule. I mean, you can just move them wherever you want to. So winter's an awesome time to move your bees around. So,
and I've never done that before, but I'm sure as long as I don't shake them like a mixed drink, then they're probably just going to chill out in their hive, especially for how small they were. I mean, I reduced them all to single boxes. They all had 4 to 5 boxes.
Wow.
And I cracked the first one. I was like, there's nothing in here.
There's no bees.
I didn't want to be like, who the heck's keeping bees this way? But because again, everybody does their own thing. But I was like, man, whoever was doing this originally didn't have a clue. So,
right.
But yeah, all good things, exciting. Again, my biggest lesson in my 4.5 years of beekeeping is instead of watching and learning from 10, 15 different beekeepers, I listened to 2.
There you go.
And it's not because they know better. It's because if you listen to 10 or 15 different people, you're in deep doo-doo because you're going to try to do it 10 to 15 different ways, and those ways don't match. So I highly recommend, if people are on here listening, I listen to 1 or 2 mentors, especially if they're congruent. And again, for me, I was really helped along by Gus and Kamon, and so I listened to them. And again, it's because I was listening to all these different people, and they all have different approaches. And again, it's not a this person's wrong or right. It's that you can't keep bees the same as 10 other beekeepers. So just try to follow one person, and then if you want to branch off and try something, try that. But you can't do everything. So that's my biggest learning over the last 5 years. So
yeah. Always follow somebody that gets their bees through winter. That's a true beekeeper right there.
Very true. Very true. Yep.
Or makes a lot of honey like that fella right there. So
yeah. No. I have a long ways to go on that. So long ways to go.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, that is some good rules to go by for new beekeepers. Having a mentor is so important. And then, like Ricky said, having a proven mentor, somebody that can get their bees through the winter. That's a good sign. They at least have a clue what they're doing. But that one of the ladies that I help, she loves watching YouTube, and it just confuses her because there's the old ask 10 beekeepers and get 15 answers, and they're not all wrong answers. There's just so many different ways. I mean, so many. Just think of all the different ways you could set up a hive. That in itself is confusing, and most all of them will work. there's not really a wrong answer. It's
Yeah.
just different ways of doing it.
Yep.
So I tried to send her a list of the beekeepers to watch on YouTube.
Similar
There's
styles.
a lot of them. There's a lot of good ones. They just do
sure.
it different ways, and it's really confusing to people that are starting out.
Brian, that's just because you keep asking Greg.
Then you'll just get one really long answer.
My master beekeeper always says it depends. It depends, and it's like, come on, give me an answer.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. It depends. So
yeah, or do the Mike Berry way. Well, this is what I do. This isn't what you should do. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, go into us a little bit about the expo. One of my biggest things is, what's the best deal out there? And anybody in the chat, what's the best deal you found so far? It's going to be different for different people because, of course, you're going to want something more than something else. But what deals out there? It's got, I really want to get there. I've got to get this first, So
I think,
and
then
go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Finish.
No, and then just go into us and give us a behind the scenes thing that might be going on or something new, and definitely talk about the app that you and Keith was talking about before we got on air here.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Best deal. To be honest, I think this is the first year where I'm going in where I need foundation because I in the last 2 years. Well, 2 years ago I had some really I had 15 boxes that I had stacked, all wax moth. So I just popped the foundations out. I that smell gets to the inner parts of my soul. So I step on it carefully, not to break the frames. Step on the foundation, and I say I'll gladly, for my moronic mistake, I'll gladly buy a new foundation. So I know you can clean it. I re-wax it. I guess I'm a privileged beekeeper. It's a lot. But yeah, so for me, it's foundation. But there are a ton of deals, and I will say this is a little bit of a different year. If you've been paying attention, there are a lot of vendors who haven't even announced deals yet. I will say that's because a lot of vendors have found that the month of December is the biggest sale. So a lot of people do wait, but there are a ton of new products at the expo this year. I know, I'm just trying to think of the ones that have been announced. I know that Cream Pal has like hinted that there's a new thing coming. It's very, very, very cool. Thorn has a creamer. I know Kevin Monfelt talked a little bit about it in video. I've talked about this. I think it was on here, or maybe it was another stream, but we have some companies out there doing some Varroa treatments using heat. So there's two, three, four of them. We have 139 vendors. So it's super exciting. We have a lot of new kind of off-branching stuff that we potentially haven't done in the past. While Dayton and Hilco's booth are the size of, most conferences, get entire expo spot, just those two booths alone, or just singly those two booths alone. It's going to be a really great time. But I will say that, as the best place, even if you're not on Facebook, because Brian's down there, right? I think Brian's at I don't know what they've announced, so I want to be like, I try not to give too much away because there's so many different people who talk to me, to be honest, I don't know what they're saying is public or not. I just always treat it with confidentiality until I know for sure that they've announced it. And
just remember, Kamon might be listening too, so be careful what you say.
Fine. He's gumming it up with his buddies down there. I gave him a honey-do list while he's down there.
Oh, good.
But yeah, there's a lot of really great stuff happening on our Facebook page. That's what I was gonna say. So while I do my best to get the deals up on the website, I can only do that with the companies that send me stuff. But on Facebook, these companies are posting stuff all the time. So make sure you stop back, we've been encouraging companies to use the app. I don't have a really. I know there's ways to do it. I don't have a nice way to do it. So, but the app on Wova, it's pronounced Hova. You'll always hear me say Wova. It's really, really nice. There's a lot of really great ways to go in and look at photos and exhibitors, and the floor map is on there. There's an interactive floor map. Oh, this is never going to work. Why is that? There it goes. So there's an interactive floor map on there, and you can zoom in and click on a thing, and you can see who it is. So there's a lot of really great tools.
Throw it again there, Chris.
So, there it goes. So I don't even, who is this? Perfect. Byron Ferris. So Ferris Farms 412. So you can just go in here and click on the name of a spot. It's never going to focus. But you can go in there and actually see. And if you say, so that's if you're walking around. But if you just click on the floor plan, oh boy, there you don't have to zoom in. But there's all the list of all the vendors, and so you can click on one, and it shows you exactly where it is. You can zoom in, and this is 812. 812 is Honeybee, Tennessee. Jessica and her team, they're the ones that do our honey swap for us. So we have, this isn't the new one, but we have a brand new expo guide. Super excited about it. At the first, yes, the cream. I don't think Cream Pal was there. Well, here's the. I know they were there at least once.
Oops.
Cream Pal was not there last year, so they were there the first year. Yes, we have had Cream Pal before. I just couldn't remember. But yeah, so we have a brand new book this year. It's actually 4 pages larger. We have all the speakers in there and all that kind of stuff. We have.
Before you go on, let's see if we
yeah.
can't get this one in there.
Yeah.
For this Beekeeper, I'm going on into my second year of shed. I'll be looking at a heated bottling tank. What do you think, Keith? I think that's a little bit about how many colonies you have, right?
Yeah, that's just all about preference. I saw Russell Koopman chimed up and said kind of what I would have said. We made close to I made over 2,000 pounds. He made around 2,000 pounds, and we neither one of us have a heated bottling tank. I jarred all mine out of a 5-gallon bucket with a honey gate.
Really?
Did it work?
How do you heat your buckets then? How do you keep your buckets from crystallizing?
Well, I usually store them like in the summertime. Store them in the garage where it's nice and warm and don't have any trouble. And then in the wintertime, I move them into the house to keep them a little bit warmer because then the garage gets cold. But I never have trouble with my honey crystallizing. That's just
He's got that special honey down there, Chris. Come on.
Yeah, that tulip poplar honey. I guess it's just not prone to crystallize. So I've not had a problem with it.
If I take my eyes off my honey bucket, it's crystallized. Like so I have a heck of a time selling it. I do
sounds like canola.
Crystallized. Yeah, it feels.
But
like
so that's that's a good point. You bring up something that I'm not even dealing with. I mean, I'm not even thinking about getting a warmer because that's not a problem for me. A lot of times I wonder why people buy some of this equipment, but I'm not in their shoes.
Sure.
He does sell it pretty fast too.
Yeah, they want to heat it up so they can jar it faster because it runs better. But so to answer that question, I mean, do you have the funds? Do you plan on growing? Do you have trouble with crystallization? Some people keep honey in their warmer all the time, so they can just run out there and jar a case or two when they need it. So, usually I'll just jar, 10 or 15 gallons at a time, and I'm good to go, at the markets for, a week or so. So, it's just not on my toy list right now. So how about you? Have you got one? You've got one, don't you, Ricky?
Not a heating tank, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No. I've got an uncapper tank. I don't have that. And to be honest with you, I don't have the problem. If I don't pull my fall honey, I really do not have a problem with crystallized honey. So
you're lucky.
Yeah. Chris must have some canola in there or something.
It's So like I
Clover.
went fancy Gus, and I got for free. I got a 3-door. It didn't work fridge, and I insulated the top. I followed all the instructions. I got those like chick warmer bulbs. I put them at the bottom. I put bread fans in. They're actually computer fans, so I could mix the air. And I set it like 90, just 90, not too hot, not too cold. I got crystallization. I got honey burnt in the same.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. So I have a Hilco. Is it 7-gallon? Basically, how it sits up there. I leave it on the lowest setting. I have 1 bucket of honey in it, and then when I need it, I can jar it. I also have a hook off. I'm stupid. I'm not bougie. I'm stupid. I do have a speed fill that I've used once. It just sits there. I don't have enough to use it. I just have it because I'm an idiot. But how I use the Hilco is I'll clean out the tank with water and my Scrub Daddy, which I love. Scrub Daddy works amazing on honey. If you've never used it, the best thing to clean honey with because it just comes out real nice. Cold water. So I clean the tank and I will carefully fill the tank full of water up to a point where I can take a bucket of crystallized honey and set it in the water, and then I'll heat the water around it. And then when I pull my bucket up, I can just empty the tank of water, and then I have a decrystallized bucket of honey. So I use my jacketed tank for multiple things. So, and I don't have a giant one. I think it's 7, maybe 10-gallon, but it fits a 5-gallon real nice into it. And so I use it to also decrystallize. So, because I've just heard really, really bad stuff about, the bands, although those are for 55-gallon drums. But
so who's got the best deal on a heating tank, Chris? What would be a guess? I mean, I know Hilco's got them.
I think Hilco would have the cheapest price on one, but I will say that John, I personally have a mix of Hilco items and Thorn items. Those are the relationships I have. Does not mean that any other brand is bad or anything else. So yeah, I have an uncapping tank from Thorn. I have my extractor from Thorn, and I have a creamer, a speed fill, and my bottling tank is from Hilco. And so, can you start having long-term in the bottle?
I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Yeah, DC was saying that Shenandoah's got a good deal at the moment.
Oh, really?
Bill.
And Shenandoah is Savant?
Shenandoah Bee Supply.
Well, yeah, but they don't have their own brand.
Well, no, I think he's just selling them. He's got a sale going on or something right now.
Do we know what brand that is? Isn't it? I think it's Savant, is it not? The same tank's a better price. Okay.
I don't know. What brand is it, DC? Do you know?
Well, yeah, we have 3 comments right in a row all saying Shenandoah. Again, listen, there's 139 vendors. I can't watch all the deals. Shamrock? That's the name of the brand? I've never heard of Shamrock. Who's Shamrock? And I don't mean that in a negative way. I've just never heard of it. Okay. I wonder if it's... Does anyone have Shamrock?
Says Bill has Shamrock make him a bunch of stainless equipment. So it must be something Bill designed or wanted special. Not sure.
Not sure. Brand new. Oh, cool. Cool. That's awesome. New line. Hey, I know, a lot of people want to knock John for Chinese stuff. All of his stuff is made either in the U.S. or in Turkey now. Okay. From what he's told me, I'll just preface that. All of his stuff is now made in Turkey and in the U.S. I think John was not fully prepared for how particular people would be on stuff being made, not in China. And so he's switched a lot of stuff to Turkey and to the U.S. I've been to Jed's place. As the picture, I think Kamon posted the picture of me in welding goggles. I have a better photo of Kamon. Hold on, I can revenge Kamon for this one. This is a real good one. You guys will love this. Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Only on the Bee Connection tonight. So hopefully, Cayman doesn't find out about it and kills us all.
No. He's not looking. Yeah, here we go. So we were fitting Cayman for his coffin. Yeah, there you go, Cayman.
Count Cayman.
Somebody screenshot that one. Yeah, so we were up there in Jed's workshop, and it's really, really cool. I've told him he should do some like behind the scenes. This is like one of his benders, which is wild. Like you put anything in there that's not metal, it's snapping in half.
Yeah, he should do that. Us nerds love that. The behind the scenes
it's
equipment
really cool.
stuff.
And he has his rollers and stuff. Like it's it's it was really cool. No. It was other stuff. We're dealing with some drama with the expo right now, and planning drama. I'll say that. No vendors, no nothing. It's just us versus the world stuff. It's dumb. Anyways, no. So it's really neat, and I have a much bigger appreciation for going to Jed's, watching what goes into it. And while he has a whole list of here are the cut lists and all the stuff, and so one day he's making legs, and the next day he's making. But I mean, this stuff's not easy, and it's really well made. And to the credit of. And again, I have Hilco and Thorn stuff, so I have personal experience there. I'm not talking about Maxon or Shamrock or whatever the other one was called. But they stand behind their stuff. I've had problems, and I pick up the phone. I call John, and Jed would say something like, "I don't have time to do that." So hopefully he pops in, and I can.
It's good advertising, though.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's again how many. The people that we're not talking about, the companies that we have not talked about, and it starts with a V, that make quite literally everything under the sun. You're never going to see a cool tour of their factory because they probably legally can't. Meanwhile, Maxent and all the other companies that we haven't touched tonight, they're all it's all made well and through legal measures, and it stands the test of time. And places like Maxent, they're the ones that are sold at my local store. My local store, by the way, is an hour and a half from me. But I've gone there before, and they're like, "Yeah, we're out of our extractors from Maxent. We get one a year." And Billy down the street bought it. That's the kind of stuff. That's why I bought from Thorn and from Hilco, is because when I have problems, I just pick up the phone and call, and they say, "You idiot, you put it in upside down," or "No, I don't want you to do that." It's not all their problem. I mean, when we had some, because Cayman still has the prototype of the wax dipping tank, which has caused us more problems. I mean, again, I'm not there every time he uses it, but every time I'm there when we use it, something is going wrong with it. So we called
a lot of wax ends up on the floor.
Yeah. Well, it was really fun. We had a staff waxing, February or March of last year, and we had the whole staff out. Anybody could make it, and we had a really fun time. But of course there were problems, so we were calling Jed, and he was walking us through it. So it was a good time. So yeah, I'll show you the plus. That's really cool. I'm excited to see the Shamrock again. Maybe I need to be watching these deals better. So yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to definitely check that out. So but yeah, so that's that. Inside track stuff. So I think so we over doubled our workshops this year, and they still sold out like that. And there were a lot of opinions on how we did it or how we didn't do it, or a lot of people want waiting lists, and what people don't understand is there's 35 people in a class, and the waiting list is going to get to 150, and there might be one person that backs out. It's just, we don't want to get people's hopes up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So the workshops, though, should be really cool. We have, for the first time, we're going to have live bees at the expo. That's really cool. So Tucka's going to bring some live bees. Tucka Seville, I think it's her last name. So yeah, she's going to be bringing queens.
So they're going to be virgins. They're not actually going to be mated queens, correct?
I assume so. So you're gonna have
That's
even
kind of
more
what I
fun
thought,
catching
but
those.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, I can take this bee home with me, right?
That's a Kamon question, and I have heavily weighed on the opinion that no bees should leave the room because recipe for disaster.
They'll
Like
get loose.
nobody who is there is going to catch a queen, mark it, and take it home and use it. Like that, nobody can say that. That's malarkey. And it's if we have 70 queens there or something, 100 queens, whatever she brings, you can't tell me that 10% of them aren't going to get out. And like I know queens don't like try to sting people, but like come on, like what a nightmare. So I still came was like they don't leave the room. So I believe the people who did sign up, they're going to sign a waiver and all that fun stuff. Again, welcome to event management. It's a whole. It causes you to drink more mead.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It's yeah. Last year's temperature might be dead in no time. Yeah. Even if you keep it in your pocket.
Well,
yeah. So
speaking of temperature, I mean, I know it's a little far off. Have you guys kind of looked at what it might be that time of year?
Yes, I have heard. God, you're gonna jinx me. I'm knocking on my IKEA plywood here next to me. I have heard it is supposed to be warm for Louisville. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Keith. Yeah, thanks, Keith. Great. We have so many things that we still have to print that it makes my head spin. So, yeah, but the thing I think in addition to the workshops, and we know people want more workshops. We're listening to that. There's only so much space, for a lot of this stuff and ability to do some of these things. For the first time ever, we have a mead making class. We have a shorts weather. Yeah. Well, I'll say shorts weather for Ohio people. Yeah. I mean, we'll be like, yeah, this is warm, 20 degrees. Yeah. So we have mead making. We have candle mold making. So they'll teach you how to make a mold for a candle. We have candle making. So there's a lot more hands-on stuff. And I think it's going to allow us to have larger scale of those classes in the future.
Awesome.
Having a couple this year, important. But for the first time ever, we're also going to be sharing the expo facility with another event happening at the same time. So, yeah, so that's exciting as well. We'll see how well our planning holds up with all that. Yeah, but I think the biggest new ad and fun ad is the North American Honey Bar. I think it's going to be a smash hit. And I guess, I have that link. Hold on. I posted it earlier in the group, but I'll post it again here. If that's okay. Is that okay if I post?
Sure, absolutely.
A link? Okay, cool. Oh, boy. What didn't that like? 500. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Facebook. Because Facebook won't let me post my own link. I have to. So stupid. Facebook. I have a link. So anyways, the link is to, sorry, I'm pulling it up here. The link is to the North American Honey Bar. We're still asking for, there it is. We're still asking for people to submit their.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
He cut himself off. I'm sure
Kamon disconnected him.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kamon got him. He's gone.
He's out of here.
Well, while we got just a second, I'm going to put this back up. If you want to come to the dinner, we would love for you guys to come to the dinner. Scan that. It doesn't cost you anything. Love you guys to be with us at the Nobby. So I'm sure he will be right back on. That's funny.
Yeah, that dinner's going to be great.
Yeah.
It'll be good to see everybody. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, pop right back in on us. There we go.
Yay.
Hey.
You're supposed to click on the tab and not the X.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. This link just yeah, too much mead. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
This link is for the entry. So basically, and I had a little education moment with somebody, who's saying, it looks like we want just varietal honey. And while that's true, we'd love to focus on that. We'd love to focus on some variety of honey like cotton or, mellow, mellow something. I don't know. Kamon keeps talking about this mellow honey. What I tried to explain to the person is wildflower honey in every area, even just in Ohio, is going to be different.
Yes.
But also at the same time, if everyone has wildflower honey, you're going to potentially have some similarities. So we're not focusing on the variety, but we're going to give them, I'm sure that Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, those states are going to have 50 people that apply. We need, 9 total jars. So, please apply. I will say if Paul is watching, Paula Messer's helping us with this. We have all year. We've been trying out little bits and pieces and new staff members, new coordinators, new people in charge of this, in charge of that, learning what people are able to do, what they aren't able to do, because we all have lives and jobs. And until, we hire somebody full time, it is unfair of us to just think they're going to work a full-time job and be able to drop everything like Kamon and I do. And so, perfect. Thank you for registering. It's super exciting. So I think we're going to have a really great, I think that's going to be the newest, coolest ad at the Expo this year.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's been a year. It's almost been a year of being employed by Kamon, which is wild to say. It's really cool. I am so very fortunate to be able to work my passion, and enjoy it. It certainly helps that my wife is sick this week. Well, guess what? I can drop my kids off at school and come home and work.
Yep.
No big deal. 'Cause I'm going to work in the evening and at night, and then, anyways, people were giving me some grief about taking some vacation over Thanksgiving. And I did. We had fun. We went to Gatlinburg. My family almost every year goes to Gatlinburg over Thanksgiving. We're the wild, crazy people, join all the masses in Gatlinburg. And, it was like, hey, Chris, what are you doing? Well, I'm just emailing this person and talking. And it didn't, there's limits to that. I did it when we were walking or when I wasn't spending time with my family. But for me, work anymore is every second I can fit it in. But that allows me to be present at home and to go to Cedar Point. I go to Cedar Point with my family a lot. But when we're standing in line or the kids are on a ride or whatever, I can just do a little email or a chat or, Michael, hits me up about a bunch of questions he has as a vendor. So I got to answer him. And Sean, the coffee guy, is merciless. And, I don't know if he's watching that. I'm sure he'll hit me up. But yeah, it's, again, I am very blessed. And I did post something a little earlier. I don't know how many people, so I know some people follow me. I'm taking the Kamon method. I am not adding every single person in the beekeeping industry as a friend on Facebook. Sorry, no offense. I was always like, why is Kamon not at? Yeah, now I understand. It's just, but I did post something about, Christmas and just kind of slowing down and focusing on, there we go. Brian, you're just going to have to come over and help me set it up. 'Cause it's just it's ready. It just needs to be, it needs someone just to come over and do it. But yeah, just, this time of the year is a time to focus on family and to remember, I am a Christian. And so to remember, the reason for the season, it's a slogan. But it's a great, it was just I was scrolling through Facebook today and I just saw it and I said, I just had this deep calling to say something, just to remind people it's so important to not totally get wrapped up in December and having your house, as I called it, Hallmark. Thanks, Michael. Having your house.
You really see what he says
ready.
Behind your back, Michael.
Yeah. So it's. Hey, Adam, I know Brian hates doing his bees, so I'm sure Brian
Yeah.
will probably hire you.
I bet Brian would.
Brian,
Yeah.
yep. Or Greg. Greg hates doing bees too. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, there's in all seriousness, Adam. There's if you're not in the Ohio beekeeping group, I'm sure there's more than one, but I think it's Ohio Beekeepers is the biggest one. I don't know, but there's a lot of big people in there, who professionally work. So I'd definitely go in there and reach out and do it every couple weeks and ask people. I mean, there's Stein Honey. I think it's Stein Honey near Norwalk, Ohio. They have a pretty, for Ohio, large operation. I mean, they're based here in Norwalk. Dan Williams sells a lot of queens, and he has a great reputation. I don't have any of his queens, but I mean, he's if you see a looking for queen, every single post in the Ohio one will have at least one, if not 100 tags of Dan Williams. So I just kind of take that as an endorsement. He must do nice queens. So point being, there's lots of opportunities in Ohio for some bee work and learning. So, and mentors. So, I'd love to help. I don't want to take the whole thing up, so I'd love to answer any questions anyone has, or at least point you in the right direction. And again, here's something new and we're like kind of doing it way late now, but moving forward, we're going to potentially have a lot more staff. We're going to have a lot more people who know the answers that I don't. And so, that's a great thing because, people are going to get their answers a lot faster. People are going to have a lot more, intimate knowledge of what's going on. It's not all just Kamon, Laurel, and myself. So that's real great. So if anyone has any questions, I'm watching the chat. I'm happy to help point in the right direction. And, I know some people have been having trouble with the app. There's just some things that are technology. I had a gentleman trying to buy tickets for our 2 meals, and it wouldn't work on his phone, on his tablet, on this, on that. And then like later that day, I saw a purchase because I get every single purchase that goes through. So I saw a purchase that comes through. So I messaged him as like, hey, the direction of the wind changed. I'm glad you were able to get your purchase through. Like there was no reason that it wouldn't go through. Brian, ticket sales are great. Knock on wood. Again, we're thankful for that. We're up. I don't know what that'd be, like 10%. I think we're a little over 300 more than we were last year. So that's great. So there's a lot of really cool possibilities next year that we were really pushing for this year. But it's what a lot of people don't understand is some people, groups, events, etc. They plan like years in advance. And so, to pull them into the expo or involve them in the expo, it's not necessarily easy to do it, overnight. So, but we do have a lot of really great plans and a lot of real great potential for the expo to become longer, a little bit different than what it has been in the past. I don't want to reveal too many cards, but not necessarily changing things completely, but just different. And again, it's all because we see what people are wanting, how they're addressing things, how they're looking at things, and we want to maximize that. And what a lot of people don't realize is, when you go to, where is that at? When you go to the Kentucky, it's the Commonwealth puts it on. It's the state of Kentucky. It's called the Commonwealth. They put on the National Farm Machinery Show. This is wild. I went to it 2 years ago. It literally, every square inch of the entire expo center is taken up with this. Every square inch. It's wild. And you don't pay a cent. You just walk in. And why is that? It's because the vendors pay a arm and a leg to have a space. I mean, John Deere's booth is like over $1 million. New Holland's a brand, right? A tractor brand. Think so. So New Holland had a full-size combine with the header unit on a turntable. I walked in. I was like, "Where am I? We're not far from Detroit." I'm like, "Are we at the Detroit Auto Show?" I was like, "What in the world?" Forklift jet. Don't listen to Kamon. Tell him to go to bed. Good gosh. Yeah, and so anyway, point being is that, at our expo, all that to say, at our expo, we balance a fair attendee price and a fair vendor price. Because if we put it all on the attendee and make it cheaper for even more cheaper for vendors, well, then the attendees are going to be like, I'm not showing up for that. But if we put all this on the vendors, you're not going to get the mom and pop. Like, there's a place in Oberlin, Ohio, who's bringing pottery. A white squirrel, God bless it. They've been there before. The white squirrel something pottery. They do awesome pottery, and they're from Oberlin, Ohio. And if you're not from Ohio, you have no idea where that is. It's a really small little town. And so, like, if we're going to charge like $5,000 a spot, so the attendees can get in for free, the small vendors aren't going to stand a chance. So people have to understand, we really try to strike that balance. And so, the workshops currently are an extra. And so, we've had to buy like microscopes and crazy, and those aren't free. Good microscopes are not free. And like in the mead class, for instance, you get the entire mead making kit with you. I mean, that's $50, $60, $70 for the kit. And so, there's cost in all of that. So we just really try to capture the cost and pass it to the consumer and maybe charge a little bit extra. And just to be able to pay for my living, pay for Kamon's living. And, we're not out here buying super yachts and going on trips, crazy trips. So, we really do care about this. Price are much less than ABF. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that having a booth at Appamundia was like $20,000 to $30,000 for a booth at Appamundia.
Oh my goodness.
I won't claim that we have the reach of Appamundia. It's a little different. But depending on what you want to do, if you have a quality product and you come to the Bee Expo, you're going to sell. Period. End of story. We tell a lot of vendors who complain about their spots or that their sales weren't good or anything. I kind of look at them and go, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do anything, why is that my fault that you didn't do well? The vendors that are active, that are running maybe not necessarily a deal. I mean, like, a lot of the stainless people, I keep throwing Jet under the bus, but a lot of stainless people are like heavyweight stuff. They don't necessarily run a deal. You just don't pay for shipping. Right. That's a heck of a deal. And I know that's not available for everyone.
Yeah. And also but something you get as a vendor there, like for me, when I was a vendor there, is like, I sold a lot of product there, but also the word of mouth gets out. Say, oh, this guy makes horizontal hives, or, hey, I seen this at the expo. And next thing you know, that gets getting to the bee community. So just the advertisement itself is worth a lot, Yep.
And I know Matt, I don't know if Matt's in here. Matt, is it Gaggle? Is that how you pronounce his last name? With the Aperture Apiary? Is that I just seeing him talk about him like he's a first grader, seeing the growth of his business and the sophistication of his models and stuff. Like, who's doing what he's doing?
Right.
Nobody. It's amazing. Like, if I had the money and I was going into schools, tomorrow I'd buy one of everything. It's phenomenal. His stuff is awesome. And we have stuff like Chris Kunzer, Kunzer Hive Tools. I mean, I think that's his company name. He comes in and makes his stuff out of like raw wrought iron stuff. Nobody's doing that. Your stuff with your long hives. Again, like, there's some companies doing that, but not like you were. So right. We have, Kamon has really worked his butt off to try to make sure that we are protecting the consumers, the attendees, and protecting the vendors. Without going into any more than just saying that, there's a knockoff Instavap going around that is not a real Instavap at all. They kind of claim it is and everything else, but it's not. Whether you want to trust it or not, it's a whole, up to you. But, Kamon went and was hunting that down. And, he told some vendors, hey, you can come, you can't bring it. We had one vendor who had a different opinion, and we said, then you can stay home. And they are. So, that's the kind of stuff that, I'll just put it on Kamon. I mean, Kamon, he really cares. He does. because beekeeping isn't it's not a cheap hobby. You can be thrifty with it, but you still have right. Brian and I meet up at hotels in between our house and talk about beekeeping. In Huron. We do care about the attendees, and again, in protecting the vendors that come. We turn down 50 plus vendors who just didn't add up. If I click on your website and Google Translate can't figure it out, man, what are you selling? We don't want these vendors to come and sell a bag of goods to the vendors, or excuse me, to the attendees. So, it's our job. I'm not complaining. This is what we're there for. It's just part of the job. So, but we're going to have coffee this year. We're going to have hot chocolate this year. We're going to have, I hesitate to use the word snacks because it's not really snacks. It's last year, I think we had like muffins and cookies and maybe some type of Danish or something, but 5 corners, yes. Great. No, Hail Hives. Brian doesn't do that. No, he doesn't like me that much. Brian likes Greg too much, more than I do. Brian likes Greg more than he likes me. There we go. Good Lord. Brian's just gonna drive to my house and beat me up. It's shaping up to be a great year. We're having a fun time. But optimistically, I'm hoping it's the last of this kind, and where there's a new things on the horizon, bigger and better. That's the goal. That is for sure the goal. And when Kamon brought me on, I promised to always do my best and push. And the app is just it's part of what I did. I also helped him and Laurel. I took over a lot of stuff that Laurel used to do. Laurel still does a ton of stuff. I just took over a lot of that stuff that like she and I in the past kind of went back and forth on. Now I just do it. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff that we want to do in the future, and I have written down on my many Post-it notes sitting on my desk in front of me. And I think if we are able to accomplish this kind of things in Alaska, Michael, in your dreams, Alaska in January? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
That's very handy.
If we're going to Alaska, we're going to be there during the Iditarod, so I can watch Dallas Seavey win an Iditarod, which, by the way, he's retired. Dallas, the Seaveys have won forever, if you don't know Iditarods. It's really cool. Like, I don't know a lot, but, like, the Seavey family is, like, wild. They're, like, the crazy people who will freeze off a hand to win. They don't do that, but that's the kind. They're crazy. So, yeah, it's welcome to. Again, YouTube gets me in trouble. So
how are the ticket sales going for the Crown event on Friday?
So we have a vendor of. It's currently a vendor-only event on Wednesday. So again, listening to what a lot of vendors discussed was that they never had time to talk to each other and never had time to talk to the VIPs. We said, perfect. We'll have an event just for them. And it has not been well received yet. So there's a possibility we might open that up for attendees as well on Wednesday. But Thursday night, though, is we're over 2/3 the way full for Thursday's event. So, and again, there's stuff, again, you guys have your event. I can't think of his name. Yes. Comfort Pro. I'm like blank on his name. He just messaged me. I can't think of his name. Who owns Comfort Pro? He does the
mead tasting.
Yes.
Bees and Brew.
Yeah, but like, what's his name?
What's his name? It's on the top of the tongue.
Somebody help me. Somebody
help the feller. Gosh, if Tom was in here, he'd know because he talks to him all the time. No.
When it comes up, I'll claim that I said it. Nobody's gonna say it now. Everybody's gonna be like, I'm just gonna make him sit and sweat it out. Anyways, his event is another great example of it just came out of just people wanting to get together and have fun. I mean, certainly, it's for his company, but it's also to grow a community. Like our community is so small that it doesn't make sense to start putting up walls around people, and that's dumb. And people know that. So, there's lots of great events. Again, I think the app is going to be great. I think the app is going to be great. I know, like, people are already scheduling the photos on there. Please, there's some great networking going on there. I know there's a date when the app will freeze and, like, work no more. And it's in, like, January, February, late January. I'll have to look. But good news, we did purchase the app for 2 years. So we have at least one more year of this program. So there's been a lot of learning curves with it. So we'll see how it goes. So
is the Comfort Pro guy, is that Matthew Duche?
Yep, that's Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
We were Facebook messaging, emailing. Yeah, nope, there it is. Facebook messaging. Matt. Yeah, Matt. And I think I said it was Matt. Oh, there's too many people. Yeah. So, but again, his event's really cool. I know a lot of people, have a great time at his event. So we're not going to say that, you have to come to ours or you're not going to have a good, we're not, that's dumb. So, but no, our events are going well so far. And in the future, I know Kamon would really, I don't know if you guys hear that. Sorry. Somebody was calling me on Discord. I know that, Kamon in the future would really like to, it's not happening this year. I'm not insinuating, but I know he'd really love to bring his bluegrass to one of the shows. And not to throw his buddies under the bus, but like coordinating the other people in that whole ordeal was by far the hardest part of that. And also his voice is like shreds. So it's again, all we want to do is just gather people up to have fun, to chat, while we understand the Crown is not the cheapest of all the hotels. We totally understand that. We just think it's nice to have one giant hotel where you can have almost everybody there. And there's a lot of places for that. So if Chris had more screens, he could listen, I have 4 screens, so I'm everywhere. So
have you not seen Lee's screens? He's got like 20, I think.
He sent me a picture and I was very jealous. I want more. If I could have like 4 more screens tomorrow, I would do it. So, yeah.
Chris, about the parking, I'm sure you guys have already talked about this, especially with the other event going on. You got shuttle buses coming in, I guess, and you can pay to park. And you think parking's going to be worse this year than prior years? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think out of definition of like there's going to be another event, I think technically it'll be worse. But what I want to really make sure I remind people is that event center holds the entire Kentucky State Fair. Like, so yes, some of that includes parking on some grass in areas at the fair. But I would tell people that, oh boy, I'll have to look it up. Cause there goes my clicking again. I'm really good at clicking the X. Oh, jeez. Look at those lovebirds.
Look at those young ones. I tell you what.
Kids.
Yeah, that was kids, wasn't he? My goodness. So we all know, Tom, what you guys were doing, so don't worry about it.
Oh, did he pop in? I missed it. Oh, there he is.
Just for a second.
On our way home from dinner. Is that what you call it anymore? Okay.
Yeah.
Tom's going to slap me. Where is it? Is that one? See, this is the problem when you have too many screens. All right, if you could promote my little screen share.
Yeah, just a second.
Hey, you're good. Oops. It's totally appropriate.
There we go.
So, oh boy. Okay. So, most people come in gate 1 down here at the bottom center. And then the gates are here. Literally, God only knows what gates will be open when we get there. Roll your, dice at home if you got Monopoly, or if you're a Magic the Gathering player, roll your D20. I don't know what gates are going to be open. I know gate 1 will be open. Sometimes 2, sometimes 4. But again, gate 1 will be open. And again, gate 1 is where the Crown is at, the True, Sleep Inn, a couple of those hotels. So the main lots that people park in is Lot A, Lot N, and I'm going to zoom in here and just break everyone's mind. So, North Wing lobby here in the center is where that is the large lobby that we have, that the check-in is typically in. The North Wing itself is where the Home and Garden Show will be. So we're not there. We take up East Hall Wing. Technically, it's A, B, E1, E2, E3, E4. Technically, so we take up all of East Wing and South Wing A, along with like some rooms here. So that's our footprint. So if you want to park in A or N, great. I know a lot of people always talk about wheels, carts, dollies, whatever. No, and I mean this I do mean this seriously. So there are really strict rules on batteries, and not just forklifts, but also like, unless it's like some type of medically approved like wheelchair, having some type of electric dolly or anything like that, like we can't even have that inside the expo during expo hours. So if it's not a manual pull, whatever, don't bring it in, please. I know a lot of people park out here in N and A or even this N, and try to come in the front. So the long and skinny of it is, tires mark up the nice flooring in the lobby, but the biggest one is that the door thresholds are metal, and the tires and the weight of the carts across that tears it up. And even more, people who aren't good will smash into the door and shatter the doors. So there's no like, oh, we have to be careful. Just there is none, because we're not replacing that. We get signed in keys for certain rooms. If we lose one of those keys, it's like $7,000 to replace the key, because it's a specialized key, because they have to not only replace the key, but they have to replace every lock that touches.
Wow.
So I don't want to mess with any doors. So all that to say, if you have stuff, park out in Lot D, and right kind of at East Wing. I'll throw a little bone to John. John will have his own docking area. It's not on a dock. It's a flat drive-in door. But John over here at East Wing, I don't know which door he's going to utilize yet. There are 2 doors. John will have his own pickup area for his customers only. At least that's how it's set up right now. The rest of the storage and vendors will have the dock, as we have in the past. And so you will be able to go in and out those doors with your dollies, carts, wagons, Red Riders, etc. And so Lot D, while it will be taken up some by vendors, you can park back there. Technically, you can park in any of these lots. Basically, Lot C is grass. So you can park. If it's cold enough, I guess you can park out there. But yeah, so you can park there. Now I'll give the inside of the Century. So if you come up here, so into Lot E1 right here, this little star, this is the Skywalk entrance. So if you haven't paid attention, inside of the North Wing lobby, the big lobby, when you come in to check in, there's an escalator, and way at the top, there's like a infinity walk where it just keeps going off into the distance. So that's the Skywalk. Excuse me. It comes over North Wing, and you're able to get to the back a lot easier. Sometimes the escalators are on, sometimes they're not. I suppose if we get more traffic through there, they'll probably turn them on. But that is a way to park in the back and come in. So I do recommend that. I will tell people, though, that yes, Lot D is used for all vendors' stuff. Yes. Yep. What I will tell you is that they are expanding the Expo Center. So if you didn't know, here's your fun history lesson, where it says Lot E2. This actually used to be the football and baseball stadium for Louisville. So the Louisville Cardinals used to play football here, like literally a full legitimate stadium was back here. It's gone. It's gone now. There's like horse barns and all this stuff over here, but they're actually expanding north, and they're going to have new like state-of-the-art rooms. As of now, knock on wood, they're telling us that nothing will change for us in the future. Like they're not going to be, all they're redoing is carpet in the other rooms. So we shouldn't have any problems. But so all that to say is this should be unaffected by construction, but who knows? We've had communication issues with members of their staff. So fun fact, again, talking about the KEC, the Freedom Hall has hosted the most NCAA Final Four games in NCAA history. Cool thing, because the Cardinals were good for forever. There's a basketball arena. They also do monster trucks. Muhammad Ali's fought in Freedom Hall. There's a lot of really, really cool history in Louisville, and I know we're there at a really crappy time weather-wise, but there is some really cool history. So I definitely recommend you check out, again, if you're in the area, the Farm Implementation Show, the national one, that's really cool. It's free. I just walked in, and I'm not a farmer. I mean, I live around farmers. I understand them. I understand what they're doing, but like, they have a, I don't know if they have it on here. There was a like an entire aisle dedicated to, I just have to show you. I know there's a picture in here because I was laughing so hard. There are on a grain truck. I'm going to find this. I mean, like, it's like they have different types of sprayer headers. Again, like, as a beekeeper, we have intricate things too. But there was a whole thing. Well, here, I'll just show you this because you guys will lose your mind over that. So this is the floor plan for the expo. So this is the west wing, the north wing, and then here's where we are. We're in the south wing. So look at all of those vendor spots. Remember, we take up like this. So, and that's just the south wing. They have just as many everywhere else. So again, I would just recommend if you're in the area, the Kentucky Expo Center is a really cool place. It's one of the top 5 largest expo centers in the U.S. Okay, questions. Oh my Lord. So in terms of parking, there's lots of options. Yeah, for any vendors listening, we will be there Tuesday. Our staff will be there Tuesday to start accepting shipments from vendors. We expect it to be a lot less than last year because it's not over the holiday. But we'll still be there Tuesday. If you are shipping something in Tuesday, please contact me directly. There's some details there, nothing major, just details. Wednesday, the vendors will set up. If you are not a vendor and you're listening, please don't show up Wednesday. You will not be allowed in. Period. End of story. No exceptions. No. Thank you. Thursday is a little different for us because we actually have 3 different classes starting before the doors open. So that's something really cool. We have a microscopy class starting. We have the honey show judge class that was posted today in our group. We have, there's one other one. Oh, and I should know this. It's, what is it? It's 2 microscopy classes. I apologize. It is 2. So Brett's English and his group, the American Honey Show Training Council, that's a mouthful. They're having their class. He posted a thing in the Facebook group. It's also on the website. Feel free to check it out. If you're into being a honey judge, this is the introduction class. Thanks. I love an email. Emails are great. And then Robin Underwood is teaching one of her 2 microscopy classes at 10, and Kara Ching is teaching one at 12:30. So, and we haven't announced it yet, but we will have a pre-registration for the honey show where we have in the past, where some people can come in early and get in early and do honey show stuff. But no one who gets in early will get into the trade show early. The trade show will still open at 12:30. Because again, when attendees are out. We're able to move stuff in and out and everything else. So, Uncle Junior, please, I don't know that person directly, but yeah, if you have any questions, please don't think it's over. I mean, it's overwhelming to some people, but yeah, we really do hope it's digestible. When you show up, there is a guide. Again, if you look on the website has everything on it. Yeah, Mark, they actually offer that group actually offers that class a lot of the different places they go. So they judge a lot of different expos. I don't know if I don't know if they're going to be at the Midwest one. Thanks, Michael. If you call and leave me a 5-minute voicemail, I'm just going to block you. But yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely you could even email Brutz. If you go to the Honey Show on the website, there Brutz's email is in there. You could email him and say, hey, I'm interested. Unfortunately, I can't be there Thursday. Do you have other classes scheduled? I think they will have a staff of 65 people. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 65 people this year as their staff. So, we are striving to become the largest honey show and in the world. We'd really love to have that, but baby steps. So, and it's so cool to get to see your stuff there. People bring mead and honey and cotton candy and the candles and the photos and everything. I always go through and just go, man, this is so cool. As someone who would love to pridefully enter my mead because I think it's amazing, I have zero time, patience, etc. to make sure that my grubby, greasy fingerprints don't appear all over the nice glass.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I look at the people who enter that, and I have a lot of respect for the time and effort and the pride they put into making sure their entries are great. We talk about, bless you, we talk a lot about that too. There's like really cool things. If you're entering the Honey Show and you don't know, like people who bring honey in, if your honey is touching the lid, there's like massive points deducted. So they put saran wrap down, then put their jar lid on. And so when they get there, they take, and I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure I'm butchering it. Talk to somebody that's better than I am. But there's so many really cool things and intricacies that the honey show judging brings. So if you're a first time person, come bring something. You can enter your honey in the black jar contest. That's a really cool thing. People who are commercial beekeepers, they're not necessarily the ones that win that. There's some really cool, intricate honeys that have won. So, I highly recommend that. So, and if I'll throw the quick pitch out for the other things we have on the website. So we have the Next Gen program. That's for all the young men and women. This year we're going to have our largest class ever. And that's only because of all the amazing people who donate throughout the year, just dedicated to it, as well as the companies who sponsor it. And then additionally, we have some, that too. That too. I don't want the stress. Yeah, same. That's why I don't do it. I appreciate it. But the Next Gen's also really heavily sponsored by the silent auction. So if you're someone that wants to just buy, a box of something and donate to the silent auction, awesome. If you are Mary and Larry Ann, Mary and Larry Sears, they last year brought this gorgeous dresser. I believe it was a dresser. There's a big piece of wooden furniture. It's gorgeous. And that went. And, Kamon's brother made the honey. I think they call it the honey shredder. I think Greg called it that. Greg, I think that was last year, right? Greg bought that guitar. Was it 2 years ago? Whatever. There's a lot of really, really cool things that get donated to the silent auction. So if that's the way you want to donate your time and effort, is bring something for the silent auction, that's super, super beneficial because we're bringing in people who are, newer to beekeeping. So you can donate. So there on the website, there's a link for a silent auction. When you click that, it actually gives you all the details for the silent auction, but it's also a pre-registration. So our coordinator, Andrea Porter, who's amazing. Again, we have awesome staff helping Kamon and I. It's not just Kamon, Laurel, and I. We have some amazing staff. because it would be a disaster if the three of us tried to run this thing. So Andrea is leading the charge on that. So by pre-registering, it'll allow her to actually have stuff filled out, ready. And I'll spoil this here. Beeline actually donated this year. I don't want to call them clipboards because that makes it sound really cheap. But they donated clipboards, custom wooden made by them clipboards for the silent auction. So every single auction entry is going to have its own like bespoke thing to write on. So yeah. So again, I mean this seriously. Because we don't have extra costs for the silent auction, it literally rolls into next year's next gen program. And again, like I want to say last year we had 40-ish men and women, young men and women, and this year we have 60. I mean, I think this is the biggest jump we've ever had. It's awesome. I'm super excited. You can see the just glow of these young men and women who walking through. Some of them have never been. So that's a really, really cool thing you can do at the expo is support that.
Chris, will they be anything like that we can like see, those kids and maybe some of their achievements or anything like that? Or is that, I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything like that.
So that's in the works for this coming year is basically kind of like a next gen, what have they done this year kind of thing. Yeah. It's definitely, we have not done that in the past, but Kamon's mom, Debbie, Saint Debbie, putting up with those three boys. That is definitely on our radar to do this year, awesome. To kind of talk through that, especially with just because that's the way it works, especially with anything that was products that were donated by companies. Not exclusively for that, but also as like kind of you said, kind of a proof of concept. So, and
it'd be pretty cool because some of these kids might be, moving into a field that'd be like, oh wow, this kid might be this when he grows up. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
And as for me, I could go, hey, I like what you're doing, and I'll be following you, or something like that, because that would be the generation that's pushing beekeeping to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%. Yep.
That's what we want out there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and again, that I definitely agree. That's on our radar to do this year. That'll help build that out and flesh that out. We are doing, as we have in the past, again, like I talked about, Honeybee Tennessee is doing the honey swap again this year. So if you are interested in getting to taste a bunch of different honeys and take some home, please go on to again, this is all on the website. Go onto the website, click Honey Swap, and everything's in there. And then we're also this year, for the first time ever, because of Hives for Heroes donating their time and ability to do this, we're going to have a honey label swap. And again, all the details are on there. I'm not going to, you guys are all adults. You guys can all go on the website and read. It gives instructions on how to do it and where to do it. But the Hives for Heroes group is going to take that under this year. So that's going to be really cool as well. So, there's ever evolving, lots of things. Super excited. So I'll drop my email in the chat. If anybody needs something and something's not working, whoops.
Yeah, and as Chris is finishing up here, it's getting close to 10 o'clock. So if you got any more questions, let's get them into Chris and before we close out the night here. So.
Yeah, so Roy, you said you wanted to donate. So if you currently go to the Next Gen page on the website, there is a donate button if you'd like to just donate. But if you'd like to send something for the silent auction, if you go on to the silent auction page, which currently is separate from Next Gen, on the website, there's a Next Gen silent auction. You can click the silent auction and fill all that information out, and you can actually ship items through that. So if that's how you'd like to do it, so. Oh, Adam, yeah, my Next Gen's awesome. My daughter won one of the spots 3 years ago, her first year coming to the expo. Yeah.
It is snowing. I can hear it hitting the tin roof at the
So
house.
Uncle
Yeah, I
Drew
thought it
wants
looked
to
like
know-
on a radar you was fixing to get some.
Yep.
So he asked when was North American Honeybee's first year. So first and foremost, I politely, obviously, correct you. I will take no credit. So Laurel convinced Kamon that this was a good thing to do. And so Laurel is Kamon's wife. And so we 5 years ago started, this is year 6. So the first year, I don't remember the small town. It was in a small town in Kentucky or Tennessee. I think it was in Tennessee. Very small little place. Do you know, Keith? Were you there?
Sevierville.
No, it wasn't Sevierville. That the first year. It was. I wasn't there. I was.
Yeah, I wasn't at the first.
Not to get
year
into
we went there.
politics, but that was during COVID. I was guilted into not going. I was going to go. I was guilted into it, not going. Anyways, moving on. The second year and the third year, we're in Sevierville at the Sevierville Convention Center.
Okay.
The event was known as Hive Life then, and Kamon and his business partner split after year 3. That was a whole ordeal. That entity still exists today. Hive Life is its own thing still today. They have a bank account and everything. They no longer produce a conference or any event. Yeah. So this will be year 3 in Louisville. We've had 2 in Louisville already. So this is technically the 3rd event of the North American Honeybee Expo. This is the 6th year of a conference. So yeah, this is the halfway point. We've since the split.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you one more question, Keith.
Sure.
I mean, Chris. Do you think you guys will continue at Kentucky, or is there some plans on moving around just a little bit? Or, I did like Sevierville because one, it was closer to me than Kentucky is, but just the culture in Sevierville, the shops, and a little bit more stuff for the family to do there. Was a little bit more nicer for me. But is that something you guys are looking at, or is you just Kentucky's kind of lined up for the next few years, and that's where you'll be at?
Sure. I think there's definitely a possibility of moving. I don't think there's any one thing that keeps us in Louisville, aside from just the fact that we can just continue to grow there. There is a real possibility that we will double the trade show floor space next year and go from 130 to 260.
Wow.
That's 1,000 square foot.
Wow.
Actually, and that doesn't even take technically into account another part of the building that we use. And that's not including talking rooms or anything else. That's just trade show floor. So we'll see how that rolls. But yeah, for sure. And it's tough. I mean, like to be super blunt, I've even gone through and if you've ever been to Gatlinburg's Expo Center, it's really cool. It's so cool. The LeConte Center. I was just there last week. It's fairly large. It would house enough of what we would need, kind of, more or less. It's 2 floors. It's kind of interesting. It has escalators, but it has like 1 or 2 docks total, which would be a complete nightmare for us. And if you don't know, there's quite literally 0 flat parking in Gatlinburg. That's not true. If you go into a parking garage, there's flat parking, but I don't see an F550 hauling a horse trailer into a parking garage without blowing up the whole thing. So I've even pitched to Kamon. I was like, hey, what if we do multiple venues? What if we have the trade show in Sevierville and then have at the Pigeon, because if you guys don't know, it goes Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg in terms of north to south there. Each city, I guess they're all cities, towns, villages, each place has their own convention center. So Pigeon Forge has its own expo center. It's right next to the Island and Black Fox Lodge, which is Jeremy Lindsay's hotel that he owns. Let's spread that rumor. That's a good, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And again, but that's not, it's a solid 20, 25 minute drive. In January, probably 10 to 15 minute drive.
Yeah.
And how many people are going to want to do that? Like, hey, I'm at the expo and then I want to go take a class over there. And okay, so we'll do a shuttle. So Vegas, yeah. Vegas.
You have some work out there, Chris.
Yeah, listen. Yeah. First of all, it's really tough to get people to come to Louisville, let alone Vegas. You could look at. So yeah, I think we'd love to go do somewhere else. I just think how big we are, how big we can get, the facilities in Louisville, the only places that rival it are Atlanta, St. Louis, DC. I mean, okay, Vegas, sure, but like, what people also don't realize is that, like, is it Columbus or Gatlinburg? I forget. But in the Midwest there, like half the population or more, like 60 or 70% of the U.S.'s population is within like an 8-hour drive. And so it's not that, yeah. I know we've looked into it. It's not that there aren't beekeepers out west. It's that the population center in general is so much higher concentrated there. I mean, like Texas is huge. Like if you've never driven from side to side of Texas, like there's a reason that, like, I've been to the TBA, the Texas Beekeepers Association meeting. It's cool. And I got there, I was like, where is everybody? Texas is huge. Texas is massive in beekeeping. There's like 200 people here. Where is everybody? Yeah, it's exactly. Like, oh, well, there's also a Texas West and a North and an East conference. I'm like, oh, so it's not a perfect system. We'd love to have smaller shows, but again, we're not also trying to step on everybody's toes.
Right.
There's state. People think that we want to like a monopoly. That's no fun. That doesn't accomplish our goals for the expo, or excuse me, for the. It doesn't accomplish our goals for the industry. The industry being only at the expo doesn't do anything. It's important for state beekeepers to stay in their state. It's important for the honey producers to have something. All of those are really important. So, having something out west would be cool. Definitely would never rule it out. That'd be really fun. But again, where do you go? Do you go to Texas? Do you go to California? Do you go to the Pacific Northwest? Like, I'd love to know. And those are 4 huge centers of beekeeping. Maybe not Pacific Northwest, but there's beekeepers up there though. There are beekeepers up there. So, those are 4 separate conferences right there. So, it's definitely something we're always looking at. We're always keeping an eye on. But as of today, we have not signed a contract for next year. There's been changes at the Expo Center that just caused pauses that we just need to just flesh out. There's nothing that should cause any long-term issues. So,
good. Well, Chris, I just want to say I appreciate you coming on, and I hope that somehow or another we get someone there one day that'll give us a really low interest rate, because I'm probably going to have to take a house loan out for everything I'm going to buy this year. So maybe we can do that next time.
I'm sure we could pull a bank in if we convince them that enough people are going to take loans out at the expo.
Yeah. So, but I'm excited. It's like Christmas every time I go, getting to meet the people that's there. Everybody's on the chat here tonight and have a lot of good times. So, but I appreciate you coming on and going through everything. Excited to see everybody. And of course, when we get to the expo, come by and say hi to Chris, because he won't have nothing to do once it starts. So, but thanks for your time, Chris. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys. Until next time, God bless.
See y'all later. Stay warm.